ladies and gentlemen, today, actually not today, let me see. Let's go back in time here. October 2008. Which was, do the math, it's 2025 now, so 15 would be 10, 5, so we're looking at over 12 years ago, I think. 12 years ago, sounds about right. 13 years ago, maybe, was the very first time I ever attended a haunt. Specifically, the haunt, Knott's Scary Farm. I'm here at Knott's Berry Farm today for the day ops. It is May, what is today's date? May 14th, 2025. We're gonna go in the park, reminisce of the 2008 year. I got a friend with me, meeting up with them at the park. You know him very well. You'll see who it is in a bit. You're gonna see who else we see at the park. But we're gonna be talking about that 2008 year and what it did for me and how it kicked me off for loving haunt even more, so join me. We're also gonna look at the latest construction, so let's check it out right now. Got more construction going on over there. Oh, you can't really see it right here, but right there. There's people. New maze. Where Bloodlines was. Let's go. And then there's Widows. We don't like Widows.
So this is the reaction cam for Widows and how uneasy it makes me fucking feel. So the camera will stay like this the whole time, and this is all you're getting because I am a freaking when it comes to this kind of stuff. So Haunt 2008, it was definitely a first time for me. Definitely something that when I walked through the gate, didn't know what to expect. I watched a lot of stuff over the years as a kid on YouTube. Would watch a lot of Rick West, TPA back in the day, and whoever else had footage of Scary Farm, I would watch. I would also come to the park frequently as a kid. My mom would bring me down. We'd have family days on the weekends and we would just go to the park. But then when you come to day ops, a lot of the times, like for at least 2008, a lot of the stuff was a lot more visible and seen compared to like what you see today. Only like a few things are visible and seen. But a lot of things were more visible and seen back in the day, especially if you go into Ghost Town and where Origins is today in the little barn area over there. It was Dollhouse, and it was very noticeable and it was very seen. and it was a maze I remember that captured my love for wanting to come to this event. Just the aesthetic. It was scary, it was freaky, it was just everything you wanted to see in a maze. And unfortunately, I never got to go through Dollhouse. And there's a story behind that, because when I walked into the gates of Knott's Scary Farm 2008, I was terrified, scared beyond belief. I was probably in the 5th grade, so I was probably like 9 or 10 when I walked through those gates. Super excited, wanting to come, but fucking terrified when I walked through. I don't remember much of my trip. The only thing I do remember is going through the maze that was in the bumper car area, which at that time I believe was Las Vegas. And that was a cool, interesting 3D maze that they had. I remember something about it being 3D. I think that just blew me away right there.
Was it Las Vegas or was it Dia? I don't remember it.
I think it was Las Vegas. I gotta look back, but it was a 3D maze.
Yeah.
And I just remember it being a 3D maze. A 3D maze in itself was just something that I wanted to go through and check out, and that was really cool to see. I think that was like the only time at the event where I didn't really like cry or like hide from the monsters or anything, because I was just like so blown away by the 3D aspect of the maze that I forgot about the scares for a second. But another thing that I'm sitting in front of right now is the Calico Mine Ride. This is a ride that has been at the park for many, many, many years. I believe since the opening of the park, right?
It was the first attraction that was put in.
Yeah, the very first attraction put into this park. Such an iconic staple of the park. It is very noticeable when you reach the area. It kind of stands out right when it's the first thing you see when you walk to the boardwalk area. And they used to have live actors on there during Knott's Scary Farm. They don't do that anymore. I don't know, what was like the last year they did that? Do you remember?
I don't know, but that's where I started.
2008, I remember they had them still on both that and the log ride.
That could have been the last year.
Probably.
I know they were phasing them out already.
Yeah.
So
2008, I remember getting on the mine ride. I remember them telling me how they kind of transform it into a whole scary experience. I'm pretty sure there's footage, probably not great footage, but there is footage on there of actors inside the mine ride during Scary Farm. I thought it was a lot of fun and a cool concept. My mom used to tell me too, like way back in the day, like probably like early 2000s, probably 90s, they actually used to like throw shit on people, like confetti or like, you know, shit like that, kind of like little things like that, or like wave stuff across their face.
Well,
and
they
shit.
did have what they did have in there is they have this thing with like nylon string hanging down. It's like a cobweb.
Yeah.
And at one point, one of the guy that hired me in the very beginning, he said he had a friend that was in there actually hold the string and run it across people's faces as the train was moving.
Yeah,
People
I mean,
freak out.
it's just such a simple effect, but people you can't see because it was so dark in certain points that they would hide at, that you know you would just freak out because you didn't know what it was, and you know your senses just go when you lose one sense, every sense just heightens immediately. So it's just one of those things where you don't know what's going on, but I think there was just a lot of good memories. I remember being scared shitless going on that one too, just kind of hiding in my dad's, the side of my dad, because he had brought me, him and my cousin who was a little bit older at the time, teenager. He had a great time, but I do remember one story that I think made me laugh a little bit, and that was I was in Carnival, and I think the clowns just kind of calmed me down. Like we had a funnel cake and everything, and I saw a guest, and I don't ever suggest anyone do this. Just because I thought it was funny doesn't mean you do it. But a guest, there was this clown, and this guest went up to the clown and slapped her on her ass and took off running.
Yeah, you don't do that ever.
Yeah, a big no-no. But that's not the reason why I laughed. The reason why I laughed was because that guy that took off running ended up falling and eating shit, and then they ended up picking him up, and security ended up taking him out of the event. And that's the more the reason why I laughed, because it was funny to see that guy fall rather than to hit somebody. But there was a lot of things, a lot of memories for the 2 hours that I was here for 2008, Knott's Scary Farm. Quarantine.
Spent all night here, multiple nights.
Yeah, now they can't get rid of me during Scary Farm, but I remember another thing that was a maze that I went through, which was quarantine. Quarantine was big that year, and that was when Fiesta Village had theming and a maze. Now Fiesta Village just doesn't get no love during Scary Farm, so I'm hoping that one day that changes back to something, or extend something, or just put a maze there or something there. But it blows my mind. We're gonna go take a look at that, but it blows my mind to see how much of a footprint they fit in that little footprint for quarantine.
It was basically the maze they had in there. Virus Z was in there.
Yeah.
Quarantine was in there.
Yeah.
Different times, obviously, and the Grudge maze, all in that same location. It was basically on that footprint where the dance floor is, a little bit bigger, and that was it.
Not to mention, it seems like all the IPs that they did do ended up in that location usually.
The only IP, this is going way back.
Yeah.
The only IP that wasn't like that was in Studio K back in the day, the old dance hall.
Okay, I remember Studio K.
Was Lair the Vampire, and
Okay.
that was an IP based off of Bram Stoker's Dracula. And that ran 92, 93, 94, I believe.
Okay.
I was in there for the full duration, but I don't remember what exact years. I think it was 90, it's either started 91 or 92 and went to 94. And then 95, the guy that was running that, he moved to Industrial Evil.
We got a train right there.
Which is where Gasoline Alley was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Longest maze of the time.
Now, what were the scare zones in 2008? We had Carnival, obviously. We had Ghost Town. What was in Camp Snoopy at the time? Do you remember?
2008.
It wasn't Gauntlet. No.
It might have been the Gauntlet still, because
Was it Gauntlet?
Yeah, it was Gauntlet still, and then it turned over to
Just a different version than the Gauntlet we know today, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't as entailed. Well, it was there was different. It was some parts were entailed, some weren't.
Yeah.
The vibe felt like it was more character driven back in the day.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was, and then it turned into Necropolis later on.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember there was a lot of hype. My dad was saying that, like, you've seen Camp Snoopy during the day, but it's even scarier at night. Like, my dad kept teasing me about that all day. No, it was true, obviously, but nowadays I just walk through it and I'm just like, whatever. You're a liar.
You know what? Don't quote me on the year though when it changed, because I know in 2010 CS was Necropolis already.
That's right. Maybe 09 it changed, maybe 08.
It could have been the changing date 08, 09 when it switched over from the Gauntlet to Necropolis.
All right, we're gonna take a walk around the park. I'm gonna show you that footprint that Quarantine and the Grudge and the train have all been in, how small of a footprint. They have since remodeled that area. They've remodeled the entire land since then, obviously, but we're gonna check that out. We'll go check out Camp Snoopy, walk through some Ghost Town, just around the park, and you'll just see the differences of clips that I put in between today and 2008, of whatever I can find, to be fair.
Nothing there, not even a Phillips station. So basically this is straight from recollection. This wasn't here. All of this space right here is all the moves. This build out, I don't even recall it being out this far. I could be wrong. But like, I remember this is where the exit was.
Yeah.
On this side.
Wasn't this where the entrance was for Quarantine though?
Other side.
Was it other side?
Yeah.
Well, I remember they also utilized the stairs in the Quarantine maze as well, because I remember they dropped the body in the beginning, just like in the movie, which I thought was really cool that they actually dropped a mannequin body onto the steps that were really right there. I mean, now we're gonna go over there right now, get a better shot of it, but the steps have completely changed.
Oh yeah.
The stage looks completely different. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it today for Knott's Berry Farm. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Very short video, little reminisce of 2008 with Scott Dieterman. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, there goes my camera. Smash the like button down below. Lets me know that you guys enjoyed the content and whatnot. We're gonna be doing another one of these pretty soon, talking about 2012 Knott's Scary Farm, so stay tuned for that. If nothing else more, make sure you're following us on all of our social medias at the Knights of Horror across the board. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the bell notification to be aware every time I put up a new video, and we will see you guys next week for another video. Until then, stay spooky.
You're a liar.